Lollapalooza, multi-genre. We can go in any direction here.
We were in between Ed Rox and Tyler Fishin, and we kind of didn't have that much time left, so we had to make a decision.
Both of them are such unique artists and really hard to compare.
It's Tyler.
No, that's unacceptable, Morgan.
Let's keep Ed like right here in case we get another festival.
So Morgan was freaking out because she got this email from Music Midtown basically saying, hey, I don't think we ever received that artist from you. We need that by Friday. And it's like probably Wednesday at this point, that exact day, a few hours before BPMI, the class. Me and Juanito were already in Morgan's office just debriefing from Guffball. Our eyes immediately lit up.
Music Midtown just hit us up and they said, we have a show to do. And I'm like, Ed Rox.
She was like, I know who can do it. We don't even have a problem. We already figured it out.
I called him, I'm like, you have to come back from Puerto Rico to Boston now. So we coordinated everything and it's happening now. So I'm super, super excited for him and for the genre to be heard.
That's the rest of our class.
Alright, cool. Alright, I was taking notes. I'm gonna read my notes. I don't know if someone said this earlier, but I would do the song with the reggaeton vibe earlier. Like,
where would you think that's right to be put? Like, are you thinking earlier in the set, like right before Ronca, or like? I just want to know what your thought process is on that.
I don't know. I think the song you start with is gonna set the tone. So if you want to come across as like a reggaeton artist, do it first. But if you want to come across as like a rapper, do something with more of a rap vibe first.
I don't think we'll have enough of an audience there. And also I think your vibe is not just reggaeton. I think it's more like of a trapper / reggaeton vibe. I disagree because I think Roncan is good enough to go before the medley because it builds up the energy. So I think it makes sense to put it there and then it starts building up to Roncan and then the reggaeton medley. And give me more of a maleante vibe, like you do in the videos, like I'm joking, like I got this, I'm the king here. Like make people feel your presence, not like, oh, I'm here, I'm shy. No, like I'm here. What are you gonna do about it? I'm looking for him to not be so shy, because last time he was being too shy. I know it's it's easier to play for bigger crowds than for smaller crowds, because you can see their eyes on you. But I'm looking to see like that sort of like flirty attitude that the reggaeton players have. And I'm also looking to see him after he practices his dance moves. I'm really looking forward to that because I know he's been working on it a lot.
Yeah, you are so good. And then I'm gonna speak here.
Okay,
and
somebody else goes right into Love You to Death?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're Vivi Rincon's team for Bourbon and Beyond. And my position for this show, I'm going to be production manager, pretty much talking to the band and making sure their gear is all set up. Everything's going to be right because we need to talk to the festival to advance all the things that they need.
Vivi is incredible with her voice. She just goes into this zone that's really special and unique, and one of the reasons why we picked her for this program.
I don't want you anymore. I don't want you anymore. I'm so sick of being a symptom, being the victim of all the habits you picked up. I don't want you anymore.
Hi guys, I'm Luis. Hi Luis. What's up? We know each other. So the things that stood out for me the most that we could work on. You're doing great up here. It needs a little support still, from the band. Come closer, come more to the center, do stuff like that. Those are moments that stand out to the crowd, and the crowd always loves it.
Most of your songs are very dynamic and there's a lot going on. So even though you're very natural when you're speaking and you got great talking points, if you're just speaking when the music ends, I feel it'd be nice to have maybe a guitar playing a bit of the next song or the bass starting the next song. It will help just fill in those spaces.
She knows what she's doing, and for the first rehearsal, we had some issues in the beginning. Overall, first rehearsal was awesome, and I'm really excited to where this is going.
I actually started as an intern when I was in college. You know, this industry is not for the faint of heart. You have to be incredibly passionate about live music because it is, you know, a beautiful chaos. We are building small cities and we are working with, you know, over 100 bands in 4 days. We've actually had some great relationships come out of Berklee. I mean, we have hired at least 5 or 6 students in just the last 4 years.
At Incarceration, I interviewed with our chief marketing officer, Jamie McCurry, and I was actually applying for an internship. At that point, I figured out I was fully convinced that I wanted to work in live music, and I was starting to see a place for myself in music festivals. I applied for an internship. I had an okay interview with Jamie that apparently went way better than I thought because I heard back that the internship wasn't going to work out, but that they wanted to find a place for me at the company full time. And I came on to work with DWP as their office coordinator, working out of the LA office. And now I work at Danny Women Presents as the talent coordinator. One thing that Vivi was very concerned about was the fact of her hearing herself on stage and the band hearing themselves playing. I advanced as many monitors I could to make sure she's gonna be comfortable on stage.
I couldn't miss you if I wanted to. Save your breath and spare your tears. You had to leave me stranded here. Go have a life with Angela. Hope that she can't stand you. I'll write a song for both of you. And Angela will see right through us naked and beneath.
I thought the set itself was amazing. The band was super professional. There was a couple little technical difficulties with the back line, but they handled it super well.
They cut a song, but it wasn't even noticeable.
Yeah, it was incredible. The crowd seemed to really, really love it, and we're very proud of her.
So proud.
Your belly's full.
We are at the artist village in the trailer. We're feeling a little bit nervous because it was a weird morning, but definitely super excited because, it's come a long way and we are excited for Hernan's performance. And there's a little bit of rain, but it'll go away.
We're praying.
I'm not worried about the rain because I know it's going to be great. And Ed Rox is still going to keep people engaged even if it rains. That's going to be more fun, I guess. Just to dance in the rain,
The crowd, it was like they were prepared for a performance. You know, they were waiting all day, and Hernan came and delivered. It sounded just like that.
Something that made me feel good was when we were driving off the festival grounds and we could still see a line of people waiting in the rain. That's when I knew that we'd have people at our stage.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, they did show up. They were screaming, they were ready for it, ponchos and all.
So it went really well. I wanted Ed to be there from the beginning. And I wanted him to go to Lola. And it didn't happen. I was bummed. And then Morgan's like, hey, we got Midtown. And he came. So for me, it's going great. I love that he got the visibility that he got today. We were spreading out stickers. He got a bunch of followers, a bunch of people who are interested in his music.
I mean, I have just had such a blast learning live music under Morgan, and this whole BPMI program has just given so much opportunity, and it's just been such a great learning experience, and it's made me really love and appreciate live music more.
I've done almost all of the roles that you could have as a music business person, and I think that's super interesting because you get to know oh, I like this part of this, I don't like this part of this. This is what I can bring to the table, and I think that's the most important thing that BPMI has given me.
So in a nightclub, there's only one room. At a festival, there's always something going on. We don't want the energy to fall. Your job is to keep people captivated.